What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Rogue Tuesday. Today we're looking at the Raticate Break Deck. Now, if you don't know, Raticate Break is basically a reprint of the old Raticate. I'll pull it up real quick just so you can see it. Let me turn the filters off. Type in Raticate. If you don't know, a long time ago there was this Raticate with Super Fang. It needed 3 energies, while this new one needs 2. It has 60 HP instead of 110, but it was still a stage 1 Pokemon. But now it's a break, which is basically a stage 2. Oh, buddy, is it possible to win a game with this deck or not? We're gonna find out today, and we're gonna see what happens. Now, your main attacker is going to be Raticate Break. It has the attack Super Fang. Look at this golden Raticate. Put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until its remaining HP is 10. So that way, you remain there. You're like, so you put the damage down to 10. So they have 180. They go down to 170, 160, 150. You can see how it works out. Now you're like, how does that take a knockout? That doesn't make any sense. But obviously you partner with this with Ariados, and it has the ability Poisonous Nest, which says once during your turn before you attack, you may use this ability. Both active Pokemon are now poisoned, except for Grass Pokemon. So if you do play a Grass deck, that is going to be a little bit hard to knock it out. So we got to whiff the Grass decks. And also, the point of this deck is to win against EX decks. If you play against a deck that has single prize attackers like Garchomp or Trevenant or Night March, you're going to be in trouble because they're going to keep knocking out your Raticate Breaks over and over again. And they have the better option to prize exchange because you have to set up a Pokemon that's a stage 2 essentially, while they really don't have to set up a Pokemon. Like, you know, Trevenant's kind of easy to set up, Garchomp's easy to set up, Raticate Break, not so much, especially since you need Ariados and Octillery for the bench spots, so you really don't have the option to put down multiple Rattatas. Now, they still are beatable. It is beatable to beat, you know, the single prize attackers, but it will be a hard matchup. Now, some people might be saying, you know, when you use Poisonous Nest, you poison your Raticate Break, but luckily, Raticate has this amazing ability, Antibodies. This Pokemon can't be affected by any special conditions. Alright, so that way you're not being poisoned. And this is great because your Raticate Break has 110 HP. It is so fragile, so you need to protect it at all costs. And thankfully, we don't get hit by Poisonous Nest. Now, its attack's not so great. Dirty Shock, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Discard all Pokemon tools attached to that Pokemon. The greatest thing about this attack is that you can now poison Grass Pokemon and then use Raticate. But the problem is, if they retreat it, then you don't knock it out, which is not good. So we gotta hope they don't retreat. You could maybe put a 1-1 Dragalge in here, but that's too crazy. We're not going that crazy. But you might have to use Dirty Shock against Grass decks, and hopefully they don't retreat. Now you also play 4 Rattata for Dangerous Suspicion, which is actually kind of an okay attack. You can put a DC on Rattata, use Dangerous Suspicion, draw a card, it switches with the Rattata that doesn't have a DC, so that way you drew a card for the turn, it's okay. But the bad thing is, Rattatas only have 30 HP. That's so low HP, it can be knocked out by Silent Fear. Yeah, Silent Fear does 30 everywhere, so that would not be good. You can see why it struggles against Trevenant. Alright, and then you also play a 2-2 Octillery to help use Abyssal Hand. And this is because we play a lot of techie supporter cards. We play 2 Wally, Teammates, not so much Teammates, Skyla, Lysander, Ace Trainer, and that way you can use Octillery to refill your hand back up. And we still play 1 Shaman. You need the 1 Shaman just in case you're in a really bad spot and you need an Ultra Ball for the turn 1 to get out of Shaman. But past turn 1, you're not really using Shaman unless it's the end of the game to Shaman to draw into a Lysander or something to win the game. Alright, so that's all the Pokemon in the deck. It is 20 Pokemon. That's so many Pokemon. Now, you do play 1 Battle Compressor. This way you can discard your techie supporter cards. You play 4 Level Ball. Yes, 4. Because Rattata, Raticate, Remoraid, Octillery, Spinarak, and Ariados can all be searched out with Level Ball. 1 Super Rod to shuffle in 3 Pokemon. Frame your discard pile into your deck. You might cut this for a Sacred Ash. It's always weird with Sacred Ash and Super Rod. The reason why I don't have Sacred Ash is because you don't want to have to shuffle in like extra Ariadoses, extra Octilleries when you don't really need them. So, I mean, once again, Sacred Ash and Super Rod can always be, you know, interchangeable. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. 4 Trader's Ball to help you get your Love Balls and Ultra Balls turn 1. 3 Ultra Balls. I know we're not playing 4, but we're playing 7 ball counts, which is pretty high. And the Ultra Balls can search out the Raticates and the Shaman, as well as everything else. But you need to somehow search out these 2 guys. 4 VS Seeker to reuse supporter cards, and we play a bunch of different supporter cards. We play 1 Ace Trainer, And this is great because your opponent's probably going to take a prize first, and then you're going to ace trade them. And you can only play this when your opponent has has less prize cards than you, or you have more prize cards than your opponent, whichever way you want to word it. Each player shuffles their hand into your deck. I draw 6, and they draw 3. This is good because we are a setup deck. They are going to take a knockout, like I said, but we can punish them for taking a knockout. 1 Lysander, 2 Birch, 4 Sycamore. These are all pretty standard. And 1 Skyla. Now, the 1 Skyla kind of seems kind of weird, but you can Skyla to search for a supporter card. Skyla's mainly in here for Faded Town, and I'll go over that in a second. But you could Skyla to search for a supporter card, maybe guaranteed a Love Ball for the turn, maybe guaranteed a Wally for the next turn. It's kind of weird. It could help out. You could cut the Skyla if you want to. Maybe add something else into the deck. We do play 1 Teammates, which is great. Teammate says if your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you can only play this card when one of your Pokemon is knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Search deck for 2 cards and put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. Now this is great because with Teammates, you can grab a Raticate Break and a DCE. If they let's say they knock out a Raticate Break, and then you have a Raticate ready to go. Well, the next turn you get Teammates, grab a DC and Raticate Break, and you're good to go. 2 Wally, and Wally's such a great card in this deck because turn 1 you can Rattata, then Wally to Raticate, and then Manly Evolve into Raticate Break. Or turn 2 you can Manly Evolve and then Wally to Raticate Break. Either one works. Wally can search for any Pokemon excluding Pokemon EX. And you can use it on the turn that Pokemon was played. So you can Raticate into a Raticate Break if needed, which is pretty neat. We also play 2 Faded Town. If for some reason you play against a Sceptile deck, you could use Faded Town to shut them down, or to actually knock them out. Because Faded Town says at any time between turns, put 2 damage counters on each Mega Evolution Pokemon. So if you are playing against a Sceptile, they have the Grass, which means, Ariados can't hurt it. You can then use Faded Town to hit the 2 damage in between turns. And also, Faded Town could help against Mega decks that knock out your Ariados. Maybe that played Hex Maniac. It's really cool. And I do like Faded Town a lot in this deck. 1 Flowstone to give your Octillery free retreat. Everybody else has 1 retreat cost except Octillery, and it has 2, so you need the Flowstone onto the Octillery. 4 DC and 4 Grass Synergy. The Grass Synergy are great, so that way you can, turn 1 you can attach a Grass Synergy, and then turn 2 you can attach a DC to another Raticate, and that way you have 2 Raticates kind of ready to go by turn 2. And this is the deck. It's a good deck. It's kind of clunky. It is a stage 2 with a stage 1, like a 2-2, 2-2, 4, 4, 3. You could get the Skyla for a 4th Raticate Break. That was the only thing I really considered during the whole testing of this deck. But it's not a really good deck. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's an okay deck. But if you do play against an all EX deck, you could win. Now, later on in the video, it tells you what the deck struggles with. It does have a lot of weaknesses, especially fighting, since you are weak to fighting. But it's a fun deck. It's supposed to be, roguish. It's supposed to be something for League, for something online when you want to have fun. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and let's see the deck in action. Alright, we're putting against WJ Wallace playing a Lightning colorless deck. Now, this might be Mega Manectric Shaman. Mega Manectric Shaman most likely, but who did he pair the Mega Manectric with? We won the coin flip. It could be Raichu Bat. No, it's not Raichu Bats because we didn't see any Psychic, so it's definitely some kind of Manectric deck. They did have the advantage though, which is kind of scary. Blue Mulligan turn 1. So it's Mega Manectric, Parallel City, Xerosic. Alright. That's good. At least we have EX Pokemon that we can knock out. So we're gonna shuffle again. We both mulligan. They don't know what we're really playing. I mean, they didn't really see anything. Alright, this hand's not good. Alright, so my opponent has no basic Pokemon. Alright, so send up the Octillery. I mean, the Rimraid. We'll press done. Let's see, okay. So see Megaphone, Max Elixir. Alright. So take number 2. Oh, it could be a Ho-Oh Mega Manectric deck. Yeah, that's probably the most likely option. Okay, we're going to take one for the mulligan. Yes, please. Okay. Be a Manectric and a Shaman. Huh. I'm going to Trainer's Mail. We're looking for a Love Ball. Okay, so there's a Love Ball. That's good. Well, Love Ball. Alright. And we have multiple options to do this turn. We'll grab not a Raticate, sorry. We'll grab a Rattata. Alright, we'll grab a Rattata. Alright, put that guy down. We're going to Ultra Ball. And I'm actually going to Ultra Ball, discard the Ultra Ball, and then Raticate Break. And I need to look through the deck real quick. I need to see a Flowstone and a Super Rod's in the deck. There's a Super Rod and there's a Flowstone in the deck as well. There's a Flowstone. Alright, so we have both those cards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a Spinnerack. We'll put that down. We'll put a... man, I kind of want to put down the DC, but I'm scared that he has Enhanced Hammers. So we're going to Shaman, draw on 3. Yes. I put 3 cards into our hand. 1, 2, 3. We get down a Rattata. And we're going to actually Wally into the Raticate. And this turn we can get down the Raticate Break. And then we have a really, really good turn too. Alright, so we're going to end our turn. We're going to save the DCE. We're going to save the Rim Raid. And let's see what happens. Next turn, we need to get that Floatstone. And if we get the Flowstone, we can retreat, attack with Raticate Break, and use Ariados. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen next turn, but maybe it'll be a doable. We've only played 2 Ultra Balls, 1 Level Ball, so 3 Level Balls in the deck with 1 Ultra Ball. We have Octillery as well. We have Trainer's Mail, every single Ultra Ball, and let's see what they decide to get out. Discarding a Rough Seas and a Lightning Energy. This could get out a Ho-Oh EX. Most likely, that's what it'll get out. Oh, Raikou. Ooh, Raikou makes things interesting. That's a 9EX attacker that they can use to help knock out our Raticates. There's a Max Elixir. If they get a DCE, Flowstone Retreat, they can knock us out this turn. There's a Shaman, go to draw 4 cards. With setup, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's see, do they get a DCE Flowstone? There's a Spear Link going on to the active, so no DC, which is good. So Spear Link to the active. A Hex Maniac, no! Alright, on to our turn. We get a Grass Energy. So we're going to put a DC on this guy. We're going to put down a Raticate. And... yeah, we're just going to Sycamore, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards. I know we can't take a knockout this turn because the Hex Maniac does shut down abilities. We get down Ariados. We get down a Break. Man, I'm trying to debate. Do we just pass? Yeah, I'm just going to pass for the turn. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We could put down the Rim Raid, but if he doesn't knock out the active Rim Raid, I really want the spot for another Rattata. So we'll see what our opponent does. They could Max Elixir, Mega Manetric Energy Attachment, and knock it out with the Raikou on the bench, but then we can use Ariados to knock him out. We just gotta hope they don't VS Seeker for Hex Maniac, because that would be bad. We'll see what happens. They have a golden Mega Manetric as well, which is a shiny version. And if you don't know, Hex Maniac shuts down abilities to the end of your opponent's turn. There's a DCE, Zoroark discarding that DCE. Alright, we see a switch into the Raikou. And a pass onto our turn. Alright, we get a VS Seeker. So we're going to put down the Octillery. We're going to put down, the Rim Raid. We're going to DCE this guy. And we are going to Abyssal Hand, draw in 2. 1, 2. Alright, we're going to Trainer's Mail. We're looking for a Flowstone right now. And there's a Flowstone. There we go. So we'll get down the Flowstone. We'll put that on the active. We will VS Seeker. And with this, we're going to Wally into another Octillery if it's in the deck. Hopefully it's in the deck. So let's Wally. Getting out an Octillery. So there we go. 2 Octilleries ready to go. Alright. We're going to retreat into the Raticate Break, and we'll use Poisonous Nest, and we'll knock out the Raikou this turn. That's good. So Poisonous Nest. Oh, we need Abyssal Hand. Hold on. Abyssal Hand, draw 2. A lot of stuff happening this turn. Alright, and we will use Super Fang, and then next turn, it gets knocked out this turn, which is great. 110, the Poison, knocking it out, and let's see what my opponent decides to do. Alright, we go down to 5. We get a Wally. My opponent hasn't played a supporter card really, but our board is set up so great right now. This is a great setup. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about is we don't have another Rattata down. There we see Sycamore going to discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. He had a Sycamore the whole time, but he just opts not to play it for some reason. Trainer's Mail, going to look at top 4 cards of their deck. I don't know why he's playing so conservative. They receive Max Elixir. Okay. And let's see what our opponent gets down. There's a Trainer's Mail. Now, we do still have to knock out 3 EX Pokemon, but I believe in us. I believe that we can do this. The only thing that scares me, though, that he plays Megaphone, he plays Zoroark. It wouldn't surprise me if he plays Enhanced Hammer. There's a lot of disruption cards in our opponent's deck. And let's see what the Trader Spell gets him. A Parallel City. Now, they play down this Parallel City, I'll actually be okay. Because we could discard a Shaman and an Auxiliary, and then we can play our own Stadium and bump it, and then we have room for a Rattata. So we see a Max Elixir, gonna look for an energy attached to its Manectric EX. Didn't get anything. And what will our opponent do? They're in a really bad situation. But hopefully they put down that Parallel City, and then we get Skyla to get out a Faded Town. They receive Ultra Ball. He actually discarded the Parallel City. Dang it. They receive a Raikou coming down. Alright. Gonna put the Raikou down, retreat into the Raikou, and we can take another knockout on it. A Shaman drawn 5. Alright. So set up drawn 5 cards. And if they get a Max Elixir Energy, they can do 60 with this Manectric EX, which really isn't anything. We see a Trainer Spell. Look at top 4 cards of their deck. They haven't attached an energy for the turn as well. So that's something to look into as another thing as well. If we played an Escape Rope, that'd be cool. But we don't play an Escape Rope. But our hand, I think next turn, all we really do is just Skyla for Lysander to guarantee us a knockout the following turn. They receive a Training Spell for VS Seeker. And I'm going to hold on to his DCEs. They receive a retreat into the Raikou. And hopefully we top deck a Lysander. That would be fantastic. On to our turn, what do we get? We get a Trainer Spell. Come on, Lysander. Come on down, buddy. Oh, that's not a Lysander. Alright, let's see what's in our discard pile. Okay, alright, so we'll show cards. We really don't need to get anything. Like, our hand is so good. I'm just gonna grab a VS Seeker. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna Skyla. And we're gonna grab a... Oh, we do have a Lysander discard pile. Duh! Oh no, Lysander's in the deck. Oh man, I'm so silly. I'm sorry. Alright, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna Poisonous Nest. We're gonna poison it, and then we're gonna. I was like, I'm using VS Seeker, but then I was like, I'm using Skyla, duh. And then we use Super Fang to knock it out. Now, what our opponent is probably gonna do next turn is use VS Seeker for Hex Maniac. But luckily, if they put the Mega Manectric in the active spot, we can actually use Faded Town to knock out this Mega Manectric, which would be great. Here goes Mega Manectric, and on to our opponent's turn. Let's see what happens. I don't know why I was like, oh, Lysander, that's in our discard pile. That was just silly of me. But here we see Super Rod, Shuffle, and Raikou, Lightning, and a Raikou. Okay. Man, dealing with these Raikous are annoying. And let's see what they do with the VS Seeker. Do they go for a Hex Maniac? Alright, there's a Lightning Energy. Okay. And let's see, does this VS Seeker go for a Hex Maniac or not? And if they do, they are going to be in trouble. Because we can use we can't use teammates. That's not good. There's a Hex Maniac, okay. Oh, we can VS Seeker for Skyla to get out the Faded Town. There we go. But he retreats into the Manectric EX. Okay. So on our turn, we get an Ace Trainer. We'll put down the Raticate Break. Okay, so they play a Rough Seas. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to Lysander up this Manectric EX. And I'm going to Super Fang to put out 10 damage left. Alright? And what we're going to do is we're going to see what our opponent decides to do. If they keep the Manectric EX in the active spot, we could Sky Return with Shaman to knock it out. Because they're going to Turbo Bolt power somebody. There's a Flash Energy. I was hoping they would retreat into this guy. They receive a VS Seeker, and let's see what they decide to get out. Now, this Turbo Bolt will knock us out. But that's fine. I think I'm fine with that. How many Raticate breaks? How many Raticates are in discard pile? Okay, just the one. Okay. We see a VS Seeker for Lysander. And who will they get out? They could get out Shaman. But if they get that out, we can knock out this Mega Manectric. Let's see what they decide to do. Because they can VS Seeker, bring up Ariados, thinking that we can't knock it out. But then we can teammates grabbing a Spinnerack and a Faded Town. Yeah, that'd be really... Oh, Spinnerack to the discard pile. That's not good. Alright. 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 We'll have to see what happens. So, no, he's going to go for a Turbo Bolt. Okay, 110 damage. He's going to put 2 energies on this guy. Just 1, okay? So we're going to set up Shaman. We're going to put down the Rattata. We're going to Sky Return to knock out this Mega Manectric. So, Rattata... We'll use... Oh, no. we could have won this turn. That top deck, oh no! Why did we not sit at the Raticate? Because what we could have done is put down the Faded Town, license this guy up, Spinnerack and Raticate Break for the win this turn. No! Oh man, oh no. Okay, but that's fine. We're gonna Wally, grab an Raticate, okay, putting that down onto the field. We are going to... Oh man. And we had to win this turn, but I didn't... Oh man, we should have sent Raticate regardless. It has Free Retreat. That was just a misplay on my part, but I still believe in us. So we're going to put a DC on the active. And we are going to Sky Return. Knocking out the Manectric EX. And we're going to send up the Octillery with the Float Stone. We're going to go down 2 price cards. There's 1, there's 2. Alright, we're going to send up the Octillery. And we're going to see what happens. Now, we know they have the Life Center in the hand. The question is, do they have a Link and a Mega Manectric? That's the 2 combinations they need this turn. So here goes a Manectric EX. And on to our turn, let's see. On to their turn, let's see what happens. Just can't believe we topped at that Faded Town. We could have knocked him out. Because like I said, we could have Life Centered this guy. And knocked it out. Yeah, and then we had a Faded Town. We would have took 4 price cards that turn. No! Alright. Oh, man. Alright, but there's a Lysander. Let's see who they bring up. They're going to bring up Ariados. And they're going to do 60 damage, which is not a knockout. But the problem is, we don't have any energies on the field. So Assault Laser doing 60. And on our turn, okay. We're going to VS Seeker versus Skyla. And what we're going to hope is that the Super Rod's in the deck. So we're going to Skyla. And we gotta hope Super Rod is in the deck. Okay, it is. Good. So we're gonna Super Rod. And with the Super Rod, we are gonna get back the Ariados, a Spinnerack, Raticate Break, and another Raticate Break. So that way it's easier to draw into. So grab those 2. We will put a Grass Energy on this guy. Use Poisonous Nest to poison it. We'll use a Level Ball to grab a Spinnerack. Put down the Spinnerack. Retreat. Oh man, I think we'll just keep it in the active spot. This is weird. Let's just retreat into the Octillery and we'll just pass. Yeah, that seems like the best play. That might seem kind of weird, but that's our best option. Because what we can do next turn is we could DC the Raticate. And, I mean, if he can overrun right now. But, man, I don't think the retreat mattered. I definitely didn't want to put down a DCE. If we put down a DCE, he could have VS Seeker for Xerosic. Popped the DCE, we would have been in trouble regardless. So they were seeing Ultra Ball, discarding a Mega Manectric and a Lysander. This might get out of Raikou. Yeah, so it's going to get out of Raikou. Gonna put the Raikou down. And let's see, will our opponent... I mean, if he attacks this turn, he's going to lose. Unless he Hex... No, even Hex Maniac doesn't work either. I say retreat to Raikou. Okay, so smart play by my opponent. And let's see what they decide to do. Energy goes to this guy. Mega Manectric to end their turn. Alright, so on to our turn. Let's see what happens. We get a Compressor. We'll play it. Let's discard a Grass, Rattata, and a Ultra Ball. No, we need to keep Ultra Ball. I think we'll keep everything else in our deck. Everything else seems pretty good. We'll discard those 3. We'll put a DC on this guy. We will we'll retreat into Raticate Break. We will poison his nest. And then we will use this Super Fang. Knocking out the Raikou. Okay. I mean, I can't believe we had that win that one turn. That was a misplay. I know, guys. I'm sorry about that. But we'll take a prize card. Going down to 1. There's a Grass Energy. And I don't know what our opponent can really do. Maybe they're hoping that when they Turbo Bolt, we don't have another break. But they don't know we have teammates in our hand. Just staring at us saying, hey, you're going to get that card. They receive a Megaphone. They're going to take a knockout this turn. But we have teammates to get that Raticate Break. And we have the DC already in our hands. So we are good to go. You know what? Let's have some fun. Let's hit up the Raticate Break. Raticate. We're going to put down Faded Town. And we're actually going to knock him out with the Faded Town. We're going to let Faded Town shine. So put down the Faded Town. Use teammates. Grabbing a Raticate Break, and a Birch. Doesn't really matter. We'll grab those two. Put down the Raticate Break. Put down the DCE, and we'll knock it out by using the Faded Town. So we'll use Super Fang, putting it down to 1 HP left. Then the Faded Town will take a knockout. There we go. And there is Raticate Break Ariados Octillery. We had kind of, I mean, it was an interesting matchup for sure. But you can see how strong of the deck is against EX decks. Now, it is definitely a fun deck. It is something to take very lightly. It loses to Trevenant and Garchomp, which are really big right now online. I played against a bunch of those decks, and I just kept getting destroyed over and over again. But that was actually a really good game. We got set up. We had the Raticate Breaks ready to go. I wish he would have dropped the Parallel City. It ended up not really mattering. I think my opponent had some kind of bad luck with the Max Elixirs, but we knocked out three Raikus? And two Manectric EXs, so that was pretty cool. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed Raticate Break. We had that misplay that one turn. You should always promote the free retreat Pokemon. I was just so focused on doing the Sky Return. If we would have said that Raticate Break, we would have took 4 prizes in one turn. And I know some people were like, oh, Squeaky always misplays. But I was just so focused on using Sky Return, I didn't even contemplate thinking of hitting the Faded Town off the top deck. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty.